Hey, welcome to Raw and Raw. This is Kevin Gammie. We are having a few errors with technology today. I don't know what's happening. It's all working now, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm Kevin Gammie. I've got, as usual, Leanne Butterworth. How are you going?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
And Nathan Schokker.
Hello. I'm good. How are you all?
We're all good.
Champion.
Good.
We are not as well lit as you, but we are good.
So,
is anyone as well lit as I am?
What's been happening this week, I've got to say.
Definitely. It's been a busy week. Busy week for all. Exciting week for all.
Exciting for all. The state government having a second round of the adoption grant, still upsetting sole traders and everything. So, small business has decided to take that one on, and we're going to launch our own grant program, which is pretty exciting. So, which we've
awesome, amazing stuff. Good work.
Which is pretty cool. So, basically we're kicking it off with $250,000 of projects, half of which will go back to members of our community that can't actually get the adoption grant. So that's the very first thing that we're trying to do. Yeah, it's a pretty cool stuff.
Awesome. Good work, dude. Good work.
So what else has been happening in the news?
Yeah, well, the news. So we'll start off with our good old friend coronavirus. So we continue to do the good thing, the right thing. We continue to kick its butt. So keep it up, everyone. Keep those social gaps. Keep washing hands. And hopefully we'll continue to see restrictions ease going into next month. By the looks of it, that's where the smart money is. As Kevin mentioned, we've got a second round of adoption grants coming out, or that are coming out 1st of July. So make sure you get all of your information ready and sorted so that you can apply super quick, because no doubt that money will go very, very, very quickly. This time around, they have apportioned 50% of the total $100 million to regional grants. So for any of you that are in the regions, or if you know businesses in the regions, make sure that they get their applications in as well, so that they can get some of that adoption money, which would be great. In other news, it's not super exciting, but the ATO has created their own newsroom, news service, news function, so people can read a lot more about ATO stuff. Not my number one top seller.
I was going to say, the accountants would be going off.
But it will be a fantastic resource, no doubt. It will. I can't imagine they'll be cracking too many puns or dad jokes, but there will be some very valuable information in there for sure. Also, a week from today, we have the start of the mid-year school holidays. So for everyone out there, and I know all of those parents out there are probably thinking the kids only just went back to school anyway, following all of the coronavirus dramas. But they're getting out of school again for 2 weeks, so make sure we plan all of those local Queensland holidays and tourist spots so that we can help all of those local and small businesses. And connected to going away on holidays, in slightly odd news, if you go camping during the school holidays and your tent gets stolen, insurers say that you won't be covered.
Mm-hmm.
You won't be covered if your tent is stolen? Covered?
Oh, we did it.
Okay, so waiting for next.
I was waiting for the canned applause or something to come out. So
I'm sorry, I couldn't give you the satisfaction.
Fair.
That's a little cool, I got to say. On the social enterprise front, what's been happening, Leanne?
Social enterprise front. Let me see. I think a lot of people are trying to find their feet. Like, I think we've sort of gotten through that phase of either people putting themselves up on blocks or doing a complete pivot or going full steam ahead. But I think really it's now people are finding their feet in the new normal. So nothing overly to report in that space, except, I mean, one of my favorites is Work Restart, which is about giving people a second chance who've had an experience of incarceration. I recorded a podcast this week on empathy in prisoners and empathy in people who've had and are incarcerated. And so they're getting back into the prisons this week, back into Barallan Prison this week. And there's a whole social enterprise ecosystem in there. So very, very exciting. So I'm editing that podcast at the moment. But yeah, people sort of really starting to go, okay, what does this look like? Let's embrace it. Things are opening up. Do we go backwards? Do we go forwards? So we're seeing a lot of that sort of, activity happening.
Cool. I was just checking my emails to see if our guests that aren't quite here yet, if they were there. So that's really cool news. So what else is happening in the world of we were talking about Tom coming on, talking to us about social enterprise, but Tom's running late. Can you reach out and see if Tom's around anywhere?
He's in a holding room. Hang on, he's trying to get through. It says allow. You're entering a broadcast studio. No mic or cam access.
Hey, we've never had this sort of problem before.
Let's
our holding room is normally right here, and we can normally let him do that. So look, I love it when a plan doesn't come together and we can make some jokes and make sure. I will send him another invite.
But for those of you who are interested, it's actually called the Professional Empathy Podcast.
So if you can chat about that for 1 second while I reach.
Yeah, tell us more.
So the Professional Empathy Podcast, it's all about exploring empathy and mental health in a variety of industries. So I've talked to engineers and salespeople and storytellers and tradies. If you don't like foul language, don't listen to the tradies one, but that's with Trade Mutt, my beloved Trade Mutt. Today, just then, I recorded one on firefighters. So we had a retired firefighter and a mid-career firefighter talking about mental health, empathy, the stresses that they go through, families, victims, everything. And it was so enlightening and I loved it. Musical theatre, we talked to a guy whose career highlight, and not because it's the biggest thing he ever did, but his career highlight in terms of personal satisfaction was playing the rhinoceros's ass in The Lion King, because he said people wept. The first time they saw The Lion King in the theatre, they wept because it brought out a really cool show. Oh, I love it. So he played the rhinoceros's bum, but he's also played like The King and I and Aladdin and all. He's a very talented character. But we talk about mental health in musical theatre. We've talked about mental health in leadership, paramedicine, emergency nursing. And it was really interesting because when I recorded the emergency nursing one, we recorded it the week before COVID hit, and I published it the week after COVID hit. So really interesting, the distinction, and then we sort of added some edits. Police, law on earth. So Katie Richards, who I know is in the BSB group, we talk about empathy in law and how she's doing things very, very differently so that access to legal help is a human right, and the implications of people not having access to legal assistance, and how her platform, Law on Earth and Virtual Legal, are doing things very differently, and how she has structured her business differently to value her people and their mental health and the things that she does around that. So it's not just we give out cheap law, it's a whole ecosystem and framework. And she is part of Impact Boom, which hopefully Tom can tell us about when he turns up. But she's part of the accelerator as well. But we talked to her and I love it.
If you can let Tom know that I just sent him an email and try again, that would be awesome. Absolutely. No, that's fantastic. So the holiday initiative that you were going to talk about, what about that, Nathan?
Yeah. So what we've done is we've banded together almost 40 local chambers of commerce from all across Queensland, and we built a bit of a central campaign and website to help people find where they should and could go to enjoy a nice holiday. So all that people need to search is, whether it's in Google or Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever, type in local as QLD, and they'll come across a website that will show them all of these local chambers from across the state, and that will redirect them to those local chambers so that they can read up about the best restaurants, where to stay, what to do, where to go, all of that sort of stuff. So it's in its final little bit of information building at the moment, but it's all live, and then next week it'll be packed full of information ready for people to get out there and have a nice holiday, but more importantly, support all of these local and small businesses in tourism and hospitality that have done it so tough for especially the last 3 months.
So that website one more time?
Local as QLD.com.au.
Local ads, ADS?
No, local as, AS. Local as, bro. Local as.
Local as, bro. Although that'd be the
exactly.
New Zealand version.
QLD.
Local as mates.
.com.au, easy. Yeah.
Local as mate. Okay, so local as.
That's it. You got it. Perfect.
.com.au. Awesome. Thank you very much. To tell people a little bit more about what we're doing with the Brisbane Small Business Grants for Growth program, we've noticed, we did a survey after the adaptation grants came out, and a lot of people going, hey, but sole traders aren't looked after. If you don't employ people, you don't qualify. And I went, oh, that wasn't and that is the reading. These days, they've even got the, under the adaptation grant, you can go and check and see if you can qualify, if you do qualify this time around, which is so much more helpful, particularly if you don't qualify, so you don't waste your time.
Yeah, exactly.
With the fact that, let me talk about the adaptation grant first, and then we'll come back to the Brisbane Small Business one. So there's going to be 1 or 2 people wanting to get this application in. Don't be shocked if the site crashes. Even before that, I want you to treat your colleagues with the respect that you would love to be treated. And I want you to go back a step, rather than rushing and getting quotes and rushing for the very first available project. You do have until the 1st of July. So you've still got 2 weeks or very close to it. So don't panic. I want everyone to calm down a second and go, what would be the one project that would make the most impact to my business today? And then I want you to start finding suppliers that can help you with that. And have a chat with 2 or 3. Don't ask for a quote yet. And when you select on which one of them you feel is going to suit you best, then ask for a quote and put your application together. Because by doing it in such a structured way, you'll end up with a much better outcome rather than jumping to the first thing. Oh, I need a new website. And look, you can build the best website in the world, but if you haven't found a way to drive traffic to it, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be that big an impact to your business. So I want you to think about those strategies. What is going to be the biggest impact to help people find you easily, for you to convert more sales, for you to serve more customers more easily and at a better price, so that how can you stand out? What's the impact that you're making? And if we can get you thinking about that, then we can do that. Now, all of a sudden, we've got everybody's in the room. Mike, I'm going to get you to wait just until after we've had a quick chat with Alex, because Alex has to run away in quick 5 minutes. So if you can just bear with us, that would be awesome.
Please tell me you mean Tom.
Tom, I do mean Tom.
Oh, good.
And I would love it if my... Here's Tom, formerly known as Alex. How you going?
We're in. We made the browser work. How are you all this afternoon? Sorry about my late appearance.
I don't know what happened to technology today, but it's fighting with us, and that's okay. So we've had a little bit of a chat with what to do with grants, and basically going, hey, let's think about what can give you the biggest impact. What can, then find a couple of suppliers, just choose that. That's a quick wrap of that. Over to Tom. Tom's from Social Traders.
No, Impact Boom. I've given you a lot of contacts this week, Kevin.
But we do a lot of work with Social Traders. They're good friends of ours.
Excellent. I'm so glad you're not mortal enemies and I didn't stuff it up that much. So social enterprise is such a buzzword these days, and it's been growing and growing over the last 2 decades, I do guess. Would that be about the right time frame?
Yeah, look, I'd say a touch less than that, Kevin, to be honest. I mean, really, we've seen social enterprise, I'd say, really come to the fore, particularly in the last sort of 5 to 10 years. And that's really off the back of other countries around the world doing some amazing stuff over in Scotland and other places around the world that really have seen the benefit of using business for good, and as a way to essentially, tackle some of our deep-rooted social environmental issues. So, what's not to like about social enterprise or impact enterprise is what I say.
I've got an even bigger question before you get there, Tom. What is a social enterprise?
It's a great question, Kevin, and basically social enterprise is essentially that. It's business for good. So it's people, it's entrepreneurs, it's people who have a deeper purpose behind why they are running a business, and they run their business primarily to align with that purpose, that deeper why that aligns with the greater social good. And so that's primarily the number one thing. Secondly, they are a business. They are an enterprise, and that means they are trading. So they're not just sort of waiting for these government handouts or grants to come in. Like, whilst that might be a mix of their revenue stream, they are actually a business. And thirdly, they really enjoy reinvesting some of their profit back into fulfilling their primary purpose. So it is a business that's set up to tackle issues, whether that be employing homeless people, whether it be making products that are, reducing our waste, whether it be using waste streams, or whether it be just creating opportunities for disadvantaged people. That's what social enterprise is about.
Cool. Now, starting to learn a little bit, because I actually never even thought about social enterprise and business, small business and all that sort of stuff, because, and then all of a sudden one day it hit me, business, small business is a social enterprise.
Look, if you're doing those things, there you are. If you're helping out
Our
the community.
Our whole goal is to help small business run better businesses, because better businesses create better communities. They create better relationships and all those sort of things. So I've run through with Leanne, I've done the checklist. So yes, we when we actually do things in the right order, we'll qualify. But then she started talking about accelerator programs and pitch nights and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know what any of this is. So what's an accelerator program?
Great. Well, Kevin, look, Impact Boom runs an accelerator program, or various accelerator programs around Australia now. And an accelerator program can run in various formats. But the key one we run in Brisbane is called Elevate Plus. It is proudly supported by Brisbane City Council and the Unicenter Griffith University. And basically, it's a 20-week program that steps people through the core elements that will help take their business or their business idea to the next level. So they might be at that early stage of their startup journey and using their startup to create impact, or they might have been running their social enterprise in some cases for 10 years or longer, and they're really looking to increase their impact to do more. And that's what we help them do. So we run them through online training, we run them through in-person workshops, we expose them to a range of wonderful mentors in our network, and then we run at the end a pitch evening or a showcase. It's going to be fully online this year, and it means that they can share some of the work that they've been doing and connect with other great people in the community too.
So a pitch evening is where people do what?
So they will have 3 minutes to talk about the core fundamental elements of their business, right? So what is their purpose? What does their business model look like? Why are they the right founder to be delivering on this? What traction have they already experienced, and what are their future goals? And perhaps, how can you help them? So it's really about just them sharing some authentic stories about their, what they've learned in doing business. And it's a moment for them to share, to get a bit of exposure and connect with, investors, government, academia, and the wider community who might be able to support them on their journey and work towards a shared passion and shared goal.
Cool. Now you've got some information about the whole social enterprise thing and social trader and stuff. You got a webinar coming up next week, haven't you?
That's social traders.
We don't, but we do host a number of webinars
Look.
And look, what I would say is, if people listening in now are really keen just to get a broader idea of what social enterprise is, head along to impactboom.org. That's where, you can find a whole bunch of different podcasts and resources with global leaders in the social enterprise and impact enterprise space. But we are having our pitch evening on July 14, and you'll find a link through to a registration page on our website, impactboom.org. But, it's really there that they will see, 14 different social enterprises based out of Brisbane, selected from a huge array of people who applied for the program. And they're really just there to share their ideas and give inspiration, give ideas, and try and look for partnerships with other business people who are keen to use their business as well for a greater good.
Fantastic. So I'm going to stop talking about all the wrong companies and people. Thank you very much, Tom.
My pleasure, Kevin. Thanks for the opportunity to share today.
Impactboom.org.
That's the one.
BOOM?
Yep, that's the one.
Impactboom.org. And we had Tom Allens. Thanks very much for your time, Tom. I'm sorry there's been such a confusing afternoon for us already.
No worries. It's been a pleasure to join you all. I'm going to have to duck out. I've got to run to an in-person meeting. Who does in-person meetings these days after COVID?
Oh, it's going to be the new thing, I hear.
It is. All right. I'll leave you guys to it. Thanks again for the opportunity.
Thank you. We'll catch you soon, Tom. Bye.
Good on you, Tom.
Jeez.
And just as quickly as we say, could I have stuffed that up anymore? Look,
It's all good.
hopefully I go a little bit better with Mike.
Mike, good. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey, Mike. Could be Mark the way I'm going this afternoon, but definitely no, it's definitely Mike. Mike has a couple of different businesses as well. But today I really want to talk about Top Nosh.
Okay, go for it.
How are you doing, Mike?
Well, it's doing really good. It's we spoke last week, I think a couple of weeks ago, and we just mentioned that during the COVID, just give you a very brief overview. We basically make and deliver meals and deliver them to the people in the community that are typically over 70. So we make and deliver fresh and frozen meals to seniors. Now you can imagine, in the early days of the COVID, when people couldn't buy things from Woolworths and there was a lot of scary things happening in the news, people just started to panic buy. And we had a website. Our typical order over the website would be, say, and it went from $75 to $80 to about $450 because people just started to panic buy. And it wasn't our regular customers. It was the children of people, the adult children of people that were looking for a source of good quality food because they just wanted to stock up their senior parents because they could all see what was coming. So we very quickly had to close the website down. We stopped any new registrations on the website, and we started to control that all over the phone. And my biggest fear, of course, was that we've been in this business for 11 years and we've had some customers for 11 years as well. And my biggest fear was that we were just going to say to them, look, we haven't got what you want, or we haven't got your order, or we can't deliver to you this week, or because these people have seen us through, the GFCs and all the other things that have happened in the past 10 years or so. So there's a heck of a lot of loyalty there both ways. So, it was pretty scary in the early days, but things have settled now.
Fantastic. Now, do you see coming out of this that you're going to retain a lot of these customers as well?
Yeah, we're working hard to do that. I mean, the good thing about seniors is that once they've found something that they like, unless you really stuff it up and really do it badly, which we don't do too often, you're going to keep them. They are creatures of habit, and once they've found a product that they like, essentially they've got to like the product. Doesn't matter how good we are on the phone or how good the service is. If they don't like the product, there's no chance that we're going to keep them. And with food, you know, we've learned over the last 11 years that you just ain't going to please everybody. So, but we're working hard to work with we do a lot of work with adult children. So we've contacted a lot of the people that made an order with us over the net. We just rang them up out of the blue. Here we are. This is what we do. Hope everything went okay for your parents. And you know what? People have just said to us, hey, is there any chance that like you can just repeat that order each fortnight for me? Because that's what that would just take it out of my hands so much. And we picked up quite a lot like that. And a lot of people that have used us during the COVID have continued to use us beyond that.
So do you have to be over 70?
No, you don't, Kev. No.
What if I was just a lazy bastard that wanted my food delivered? I mean, is that okay?
Well, yeah, it is. We cook specifically for seniors, so chicken and apricot casserole, roast lamb. You know, we're not trendy guru type of food. We're just good Aussie tucker, basically. So and we do mashed potato. You know, we do steamed carrots, all the tradition.
Welcome back to the 70s. It's all. I don't know what's happened there. That's twice. Welcome back to the 70s. So
yeah. So that's our speciality. That's our niche. We took some advice probably when we were about 5 years in, and we actually went to a government organisation who said, guys, you just need to go for that niche. You know, nobody really knows who you are, what you're doing. You don't even know who your target market is yourself. Your marketing's all over the place. So we just completely flipped around and said we're here for the over 70s, and that's what we've done for the past 6 years, and it's worked a treat. When we do anything in marketing, we can use the language that they understand. We can use pictures and graphics and video clips and all sorts of stuff. But more and more, we're actually marketing to their children, not directly to our customers, which is kind of interesting on all the socials and stuff. So
absolutely. And hey, all their children are on social media these days, all the 50-year-olds and everything, and we know that they're the biggest user of Facebook and everything these days. Really interesting stuff. So very, very different approach. Now, you did mention that with the whole COVID thing, it took a little while, but then all of a sudden things really took off for you over this time.
Yeah, it kind of like just started ramping up. You know, we started seeing the demand, but I mean, we're only talking probably 2 weeks. Yep. You know, we sensed that increase, and we virtually doubled demand. Demand virtually doubled, just short of doubled in over a 3 week period. So
what were the challenges associated with that?
Oh, the biggest thing, and I tell you what, from a personal point of view, it was actually quite difficult knowing what to say to people. I'm big on social media myself. I post all the time. In my other business, I look after other people's social media as well. And you know what? I just didn't know what the hell to say, because it was really pulling on the whole heartstrings, because there we were with all this extra business, wondering how the hell we were going to cope with it, when all the businesses just here in the local parks, they were just all closing down. And literally, you know, well, you guys know, restaurants and catering establishments, they just gone. It was really, really hard to know what to say. But I actually follow a guy called Adam Earhart. He's a Canadian marketer. He's been around forever. And he just put some stuff out there that made it all really, really clear for me. So that was really cool.
So doing the happy dance was kind of being seen as inappropriate, and you thought you better not do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I didn't want to be, you know, seen to be sort of glorifying when everybody else around was really struggling. So that was the challenge. And the other thing really for us, I suppose, was actually the communication. You know, we got good people are not what's the word? I've been sort of like blown away by about how many CEOs I've heard from, and directors, and you know, all these sort of these people that you never really see all of a sudden started emailing and things like that. Well, I do that all the time, but it was really obvious that we needed to ramp up the communication, because things were changing daily. we couldn't get pasta one day, we couldn't get this ingredient the next day. So we actually changed the answer phone message literally every day. And even if it was just to say, hey, it's now Tuesday and it's all the same. And we said to everybody, if you can't get hold of us, or, the way to understand what's happening is just ring us and listen to the answer phone message. And we changed it daily for about 3.5 to 4 weeks. So we found the whole communication piece was the really important thing for us, just to keep that confidence in people. So, and the other big challenge was our own suppliers. I have to say that this COVID thing has really shown true colours, and the people that were connected with us, the people that really cared about us, the people that really understood our market and how reliant these people were on us, and the ones that really did give a damn were doing what we were doing, and were ringing us and saying, we've got no problem with your packaging, we've got no problem with this. But there was a couple of suppliers that were just not good at that. And when you'd get an order on a Wednesday morning of a couple of grand's worth of ingredients that we needed for meals that day, they were putting the driver on at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that was the challenging thing to deal with. So
absolutely.
But, the whole communication piece for me, it really did emphasize the organizations that can communicate well and understand the importance of that. So
yeah, absolutely. And that is really the importance of every business, and such a heart of the ongoing customer journey is how well you communicate with people. Whilst you're courting them when they first start, and when they've been there for some time, it really is an important ingredient to that. So congratulations to you.
Yeah, it was. The other thing was, because we know people so well, over the years, if we've had an issue in business, I've been able to ring up a 78-year-old and said, hey Don, how did you cope with this when you were running 60 service stations? And he'd go, oh, we did this, Mike, and we did that, but there was nobody you could ring about this. Nobody had experienced anything like this. So it was
that's the whole thing. And so you use your customers as a resource, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
But only because you already knew them. And that's the really brilliant part of that story, right? So many people would be delivering to these people, but not really know them personally.
Absolutely, and that's a little difference with us. We don't use contractors. It's all our own staff that do the deliveries. They've all been with us for 6 or 7 years. So we've got a very, very strong connection with all of our customers, a really strong connection there. And it was something that you could really leverage off in a time of crisis like that. So
fantastic. Now, because you've done such a good job with that business and you've helped so many people, give us a plug about what you do for your other day job.
So my passion is videography and photography. I've been doing that on and off since 2015. I started taking photographs of our own food here and realized that they really needed to be a lot better than what I was doing back in those days. So I got myself through, diploma courses and all sorts of stuff. And I now have a side kick, if you like, or a side job where I look after people's social media accounts. So I've got a pizza restaurant and I look after all of our own social media here. And I just love that side of it. I love the whole psychology that sits behind it. How you've got to get the right photograph and the right copy and the right hashtags. I love all the creative, artistic elements of it, but also the fact that it's very technical. So my dream job would be just flying my drone all day. So.
One day we're going to get someone to come in and teach me how to run a little TV show. Not keep people off accidentally. Look, Mike, you've got a fantastic story. Now, the name of the other business is?
Haynes Video Productions.
And it's specifically targeted at the restaurant industry?
Not necessarily, no. I've done work for foodies. I've done work for RVs. Yeah, there's all sorts of samples. It's not specifically targeted, but I guess because I'm from a food background, I can quite easily walk into a commercial kitchen anywhere and get on with the people and understand how to duck and weave and not get my camera destroyed in a fat fryer or something like
that. or by a grumpy chef. Yeah. Look, thanks very much for taking the time to have a chat with us today. I really enjoyed the story. I've loved the story, and particularly how close you are to your customers, because at the end of the day, that is the story that we all need to learn from, is, being close to your customers during good times, during bad times. That's really when it's going to make a huge difference, to them and to you.
Connection, not perfection.
I think that's the name of this show, isn't it?
Good on you guys.
Thanks very much for your time, Mike. Really appreciate it.
Okay,
thanks, Mike.
Cheers.
So, what an awesome story, though. Like, literally just took off with the whole COVID scenario, and it's so nice and such a humble guy, the way that he does talk about it. And that's why I was thinking, hey, we've really got to get Mike on the show and have a quick chat with him, when I did have that discussion with him a couple of weeks back. To go back to the Brisbane Small Business Grant. So what we're looking to do is if the government isn't going to help small business, how about we help each other? So if you're a small business owner, I want you to think about things like the Entrepreneurs Grant and the Digital Grant, but made simple, because we're going to run it. Okay? We're looking for both suppliers who are business owners who are happy to offer a small number of clients or prospects a 50% discount in what they do. And we're looking for people who are sole traders and micro businesses who weren't able to access the adaptation grant, who would love the opportunity to do something to grow their business. Okay. Now, as an example, what I've done is I've teamed up with another coach. We've put together build a business plan in a day. We've got mastermind programs where there'll be 20 people helping each other out and helping their businesses out. We've got small advisory board teams with structured learning and active learning programs to restructure your business and take it to the next level, and one-on-one coaching. We've got a suite of over $250,000 worth of business that we're going to fund the first 50% of that. Okay, so it is a dollar for dollar co-contribution. People still will have to invest in these programs, so not quite as generous as the adaptation grant, and as much or as little money as the Queensland government's got. I know they've got more than I have, so we can't unfortunately give these things away for free, but we are very genuinely looking to help business who want to get on and do better business. On top of that, if you're interested in putting together programs and you're interested in how you could get involved in helping other small businesses as well, we're not asking you to do the work for free. In fact, we don't want that type of work, because we want people to only be utilizing programs that they're happy to invest in. Because anything you get for free, you kind of take a little bit for granted. And this is why this whole program's structured as it is. So, look, I'm really excited that we can do it. Jump over to Brisbane Small Business. There'll be different pieces on it. If you can't find stuff there, feel free to send me a private message. Kevin Gammie. There's not many Kevin Gammies. You can find me easily enough. And send me a private message. I'd love to get involved in some way, shape, or form. I'd love to get a grant. Just reach out. We'll be more than happy to help you out and help you understand how to do it. I'm really excited about it because it's time the small business did stuff for themselves. And if nobody else is going to help us, let's put ourselves in control of the program so it doesn't take 8 weeks to get an answer back from a government when it should have really taken 3 days. Having said that, the government is doing an amazing job on what they're doing, and they are doing everything they possibly can. So let's not bag them. They are under immense stress already, and the people working for them, they're real people too. So let's, if you're grumpy about the situation, fine, be grumpy about the situation, but don't be grumpy at the person on the other end of the phone, because they're probably as highly strung as you are right now.
And I think also if people start to get grants and put them into place, let us know what you're doing with them. I mean, one of my businesses got the $10,000. We're kitting up with new computers and excuse me, but if you're using it to get a new business plan or a new website, or really share the good news, that don't be afraid to share good news, because some people are having it harder. I think it's inspiring to hear of people who are really using this and thriving in this environment.
I know, like Mike was a bit scared to do the happy dance. I mean, he should be doing the happy dance and going, hey, guys, if we can help out more people, we really want to do so, because, you can tell that came through.
Isn't it? He's hardly profiteering off a negative situation. Like, he's out there helping people who could not leave the house. Like, if you're in a privileged position of being able to help people more, and scream it from the rooftop.
And I really love when he was having that oh crap moment. What do I do now? Oh, I know, old Pat, who used to run 60 service stations, right? I love that. I thought that was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, but like you said, it all comes down to your relationships and who you know, and not being afraid to put yourself out there. So more power to him. And like I said, if anybody's gotten a grant and they're doing some awesome stuff with it that's really made a difference, share that news. We need good news stories.
Absolutely,
man.
Absolutely. So what's happening with the BJCC, Nathan?
So we've got our gin and cocktail class on tonight, actually. So in just a few hours. So that'll be fantastic fun. And I believe that we were super close to being sold out for all of our physical VIP spots for that event tonight as well. So it'll be a bit unique and a bit novel to see some people physically enjoying an event, not just over a stream. So that'll be great fun. And then we've got some more stuff in the pipes for July and August already for some super exclusive member only VIP events. So I'll be hush hush about those for now, but I'll tell you all a bit later. So
cool.
So the best way to prepare for that is
prepare for what?
For your in-person stuff, have in your mind before you go what you're going to do instead of a handshake. Otherwise, there'll be people just doing this, and there'll be people just standing there waving, and so come up with
totally. And that's part of our strategy with doing a cocktail event, because the first thing people are given when they arrive is they'll get a drink put in their hand. So that
could you give me two, and that way I won't be tempted to shake.
So you can double barrel it. Nice. I like it. I like your thinking.
My default now is just to stand there and thumbs up people.
Speaking of networking, we Brisbane Small Business also about to have launched their Cook and Chat network with Chef Mel that was on this show a couple of weeks back. We were having a chat about it at the time, and I went, hey, this is an awesome idea. So many people get stressed showing up to networking events, and so what a great way to distract everybody by teaching them how to cook while they do it, so they can talk about how great or crap they're doing at their cooking, and then they can get on building relationships just like you really should.
We're nodding. Yep.
No feedback. And with that, so we are about half sold out of that particular event already. So you do need, we're hoping to sell out over the weekend. So better jump in fast if you do want to join that particular event, because there's not a lot of tickets left, because the government does restrict us to only 20 people at a time. But it'll be a really, truly great event. Mel's really excited about it. Her normal cooking lessons are closer to $99, and this is only $75. So it's basically you're getting a discount cooking class, you're getting networking with fellow Brisbane small business members. You can come along, have a chat, share some jokes. They even have a bar, and they're opening that up for while we're having our cooking
and they
chat.
get to meet you as well, Kevin.
And you will get to meet me. I actually had to buy a ticket to my own event, which was quite interesting.
Totally worth the cost of entry, just by itself.
Absolutely. I always like to think so anyway. Thanks very much, everyone, for putting up with our technical challenges earlier on. We find ways of having new technical challenges every week.
Yeah, it adds to the depth, the variety, the colour of the show.
We're just slowly working through them, so we'll eventually get to a point where we can't have any more, or that we'll just start at the beginning again, and we'll have the same ones. So.
I reckon we still got a few new challenges that we can explore and we can find for sure. I really do appreciate it. Look, I really do appreciate Tom coming from
Impact Boom.
I get confused about who's from where.
I've introduced you to a lot of people in social enterprise this week. They all.
It was a busy week on that once we found out that I was running one. So, yeah, it was and really exciting for me. So really exciting part of a tipping point for our journey, which is fantastic. Business for Business, of course, is still running the competition Reward Yourself, where for giving us your email address or your contact details, you can win $250. Really, it's there to basically say congratulations for your resilience and making it through this far. There's still a long way to go. And if you are a member of the Brisbane Small Business Directory when you win, you'll actually get a bonus $2,000 to spend on a project on your business. So I'm really hoping one of the directory members wins so that we can give that prize away, which is truly fantastic. But I'm also kind of hoping that one of the other gang wins so that I can run the whole competition again next month, which will be really exciting. So kind of put in both camps. Actually, I just want everyone to do better business. Thanks very much, guys.
Oh, you're very welcome.
No worries. Thank you.
For our very eventful show this week, as you said, all we can do is keep improving.
There's nowhere to go but.
Thanks very much. We'll catch you all later. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.